What's going on YouTube? It's your boy TK the Official, and welcome back to another episode of TK Sports Talk, where we talk about the NFL, but more importantly, we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Football is back. The Philadelphia Eagles have officially started training camp. They are now into their second day. They've completed their second day of training camp. And we've already found out so much from the Philadelphia Eagles in terms of how the coaching staff is thinking about where they want players to be, what kind of offense this might be, what kind of defense this might be, and just how special this rookie class coming in we have, and how lucky we are to have such young talent on the defensive end, right? We're going to get to that in the video, right? But I want to start out by talking about one player that I thought about during this offseason, one player that for his entire time here that I have fought for, that I have sung his praises for, that I've always seen the value in, right? And that's one Jordan Davis, right? People don't understand Jordan Davis, for as big as he is and what we've asked him to do, right? We want him to take on the double teams, right? That's something that he's always been good at Georgia. He's been able to two gap. He's also been able to be a guy that's been able to get some penetration. Now, yes, right? It's always been a question of how physically fit Jordan Davis was, right? What was his physical condition? Is he a three-down player or not, right? Or is he just a specialty player? Will the Eagles re-sign him? Well, the Philadelphia Eagles gave Jordan Davis, or they picked up his contract extension, right, on his fifth-year rookie deal, right? Which means that the Philadelphia Eagles are interested in Jordan Davis, and they really want to keep him on the team. They just want to see a little bit more. Now, Jordan Davis coming down the stretch in the playoffs, I think he had 3 sacks, including 1 sack in the Super Bowl. So he has the propensity and he has the ability to be able to get into the backfield. You're talking about a man that's 330 pounds. But Jordan Davis has come into camp and he is looking sleek, man. This is a guy that's taken his professionalism to the next level. This is a guy that sees that there's big money on the horizon for Jordan Davis, right? What do you guys think, right? I'm thinking a contract for a guy like Jordan Davis right now is something like a 4 or 5 year deal for. I gotta look and see, what these deals are that these other guys have been signing, but Jordan Davis is absolutely a monster of a man. And if Jordan Davis can get maybe 6 sacks this year, maybe 6 or 7 sacks, maybe even 8 sacks this year. 8 sacks might be a high number, but this guy can do it. I just think that he just doesn't get the opportunity to be a pass rusher, and understandably so, right? First and second down, they in obvious pass situations. We got other guys that are a little bit better, or maybe more than a little bit better at attacking the quarterback. And we've always been about putting players in the best possible position to make them make plays, right? And I think this year, right, as you guys can see by the way Jordan Davis looks this year, as you can see is the way he's going through those drills and getting through those bags this year, right? I think Jordan Davis takes some of that opportunity and makes the best out of it. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to give Jordan Davis every chance he can this year to show them that he can be not only just a run stopper, but he can also be a pass rusher. So more news coming out of training camp. Jihad Campbell. Now, if you've been on social media, especially X, Twitter, whatever you're calling it, you've seen workout videos for tons of players, okay? No different are the Philadelphia Eagles, right? We've seen workout videos from Jihad Campbell. We've seen workout videos from Nakobe Dean, right? 2 guys that were not expected to play this offseason, 2 guys that are not expected to be ready at the start of the football season, right? At the start of game 1. Right, come that Thursday night in September for the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, don't know about Nakobe Dean. From all reports are he's still, although he's looking well and he's looking good, he still won't be ready to play. He's got to just give that injury some time to actually physically go ahead and do the whole process and heal himself. Right, so he might not be ready till midway, maybe less than midway through the season. We'll see if the Philadelphia Eagles put him on the PUP list or not. Right, but Jihad Campbell is clearly ahead of schedule. Not only was he taking part in individual drills, he was taking part in team drills, which is a big indication to let you know that he'll be ready. We've seen Jihad Campbell going through some of these individual drills, hitting the bags, right? We've seen him stripping fumbles. So we've seen that the shoulder injury, the labrum injury that he had has been repaired. He's gone through his physical therapy, and right now he's good enough to be able to actually go out there and do physical activity while he's strengthening up those muscles at the same time. Best possible outcome we can have for Jihad Campbell. And quick shout out real fast to Howie Roseman, man. Howie, my boy, you have done it right? Again, you have found a way to take a chance, not even a chance, maybe do your homework a little bit better than everybody else. You want to know how Howie Roseman is such this weasel of a GM, and everyone keeps saying, how do we keep letting them do it? Because you guys keep letting them do it. This guy, your medical doctors wasn't good enough to see that he was going to come back from a labrum tear, right? That this guy was going to be healthy and ready for the season, and it wasn't going to be a thing that you was going to continually have to deal with. They got a guy that all the way across the board, the consensus was this guy was a top 10 pick, and they got him at number 30. Same thing with Nolan Smith, right? Y'all let Jalen Carter drop to us, right? Listen, the Philadelphia Eagles defense is because of the NFL, right? Now, let's get back to Jahad Campbell, right? Because, I mean, today, over the last couple of days, he's been able to show his freakish athletic ability, right? And this just bodes well for us. And so I'm just curious, right? What I'm really curious and what I was curious about coming in to the start of training camp was, one, was Jahad Campbell going to be ready to play? Two, where is Jahad Campbell going to play? Now, most of his team drills have been at inside linebacker, okay, next to Small London, and probably also getting some reps with Zach Bond as they rotate between Trotter and those guys that are in there now that's healthy, right? But he's also been working with Coach Jeremiah Washburn, who we all know coaches the overhang or the edge players, right? So we know he has versatility. He's able to get down on the line. He's able to also stay back and read the run. He's able to also get in coverage, all right? And he can cover man on man with a tight end, or he can drop, in the zone and be able to pretty much read his keys and watch the receivers that's coming into his zone and have good spatial awareness, right? And we're talking about a real special player that the Philadelphia Eagles have again been fortunate to pick up. But with Jahad Campbell, right, with Nakobe Dean, we'll get to talk about that in another podcast, another episode, just what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do once Nakobe Dean comes back, right? Because it's not like the simple answer is, well, Nakobe Dean should get his spot back and Jahad Campbell can go down to play on the D-line, right? But who knows what's going to happen at that time, because you got Nolan Smith, you got Jalix Hunt, you got Josh Uche, who I'm hoping that makes the team. I really like what I saw from him with his time in New England, and he just didn't get the opportunity that he wanted to get out there in Kansas City, right? But then you also have Azeez Ojulari, right? And as much as I hate the New York Giants, I hate the New York Giants, right? No, I can't take anything away from Azeez Ojulari, all right, and what he was able to do. Also, he's a Georgia Bulldog, right? So you got to believe that he's going to feed off of the adrenaline that he's going to get from the brothers that he used to once play with. I'm sure it's going to feel like they're back in Athens, Georgia all over again, right? Because that's pretty much kind of like how I feel. I feel like it's Alabama and Georgia all mixed in one, sprinkling with a couple other guys, all up in there. But with that being said, right, the Philadelphia Eagles, what will they do? When Nakobe Dean does come back, right? And then I wasn't going to get into this conversation, but since we've already started talking about it, let's just go ahead, right? Because if Nakobe Dean comes back, right, we want all of our star players on the football field. We'll talk about where Cooper DeJean has been lining up momentarily here, but we want the best players we can have on the football field at all times, right? So traditionally, or not even traditionally, but lately the Eagles have been running more of a 3-4 type of defense, right? They've also gone down to a 5-man front bear look, right? And I'm sure if they really wanted to, they can go to a 6-man front. So let's just talk about that, right? Because if Nakobe Dean is ready to play and Jahad Campbell is giving you valuable time, right? Then how about sometimes the Eagles go to a 4-3 defense if they're playing like a run-heavy team or a team that's coming out in 2 tight end sets, but you still want to be kind of stout out there to play against the run. But you got Jahad Campbell and you got Zach Bond and you also got Nakobe Dean, 3 guys who I think can run with any of the tight ends that are in this football league, especially in the division or in the conference that we play in. Right? So imagine that, right? And you still could be stout on the defensive line, right? Because you're still going to have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. You're still going to have Nolan Smith, and you're going to have Jalix Hunt, right? And then you're going to have Nakobe Dean. You're going to have Zach Bond, and you're going to have Jahad Campbell right behind that. And then you're going to have Cooper, and then you're going to have Quinyon. Like, you already know what it's looking like, right? All right, but the Eagles also, like I said, they can play a 5-2 defense. How about this? The Philadelphia Eagles can play a 2-5 defense and still have Nakobe Dean out there, still have Jahad Campbell out there, still have Zach Bond out there, and or maybe one of those linebackers come out and get another cornerback on the football field, man. The options are endless for Vick Vangio, man. Let me know what you guys think about that, right? If Nakobe Dean is healthy, right? I mean, let me know in the comments if Nakobe Dean is healthy and Jahad Campbell is looking good at inside linebacker, but Nakobe Dean definitely deserves a chance to play and to be out on the football field, but then we're not going to get Jahad Campbell the snaps that we want. So the Eagles play more of a 4-3 defense. And I think that that's something that the Eagles will look into, and I'm definitely sure that Vick Vangio will handle that if need be, right? Another position, well, you know what? Speaking of that, talking about Jalen Hunt is turning the corner. And I mean that all pun intended as the edge rusher, right? I think Jalen Hunt coming in as a 3rd-round pick shocked a lot of people, right? But shocked a lot of people because he was coming out of Cornell as a safety, and then he played at Houston Christian, right, as a defensive end once he started, after he had a growth spurt. And you just didn't know what you were going to get from a guy. But best believe, right, if Howie Roseman and the scouting staff for the Philadelphia Eagles saw fit to take a guy in the 3rd round because he had that much talent that they thought that they can hone and they thought that they can cultivate and mature, well, the Philadelphia Eagles got one of the best coaching staffs in the league, and they got one of the best front offices in the league. And now you got what you see in Jalen Hunt. And this is a young pup that was able to come out there and really get his feet wet and then shine in the Super Bowl. Now he's coming back to make a name for himself, right? You just heard Jordan Mailata the other day singing his praises, talking about how he just finished dealing with Josh Sweat and now he's got to deal with Jalen Hunt, right? Talking about his burst off the line, talking about the speed to power, talking about the moves that he's adding on, talking about the weight that he's put on, right? Even comparing him to being able to move and cut on a dime like a guy like Micah Parsons, right? Which is what helps him get some of the sacks that he's able to get. He's able to get a guy going in one direction and then full speed come back in the next one, right? And that's a great thing to have, man. I'm really, really excited about the young talent on defense with this Philadelphia Eagles football team, right? Now, getting back to that safety position that we were talking about, it's an open competition, and I really think it's more of a competition than a lot of people realize, right? But what's been happening at training camp is Cooper DeJean has been playing in the base safety role. What that means is that when the team comes out and they don't have 3 wide receivers on the football field, the Philadelphia Eagles will come out with Quinyon Mitchell. They'll come out with Kelee Ringo, who was at the 1 cornerback position opposite Kelee Ringo. And then they will also put Cooper DeJean on the football field at safety right along next to Reed Blankenship. And they can do that because there's no more CJ Charlie Gardner-Johnson here, right? And then there's Andrew Makuba, right? And then there's my man Brown that I'm rooting for, Sidney Brown, right? I've been rooting for him for a long time, but Sidney Brown is one of those players that's looking like he's just going to be a special teams demon. Now he may get a chance to play safety someplace else, right? And then you also have Reed Blankenship, right? And so with like I said, the reason why I put Reed in there, right, is because I think this is Reed's contract year, right? We all know that Reed Blankenship was an undrafted free agent, so the Philadelphia Eagles don't owe him anything. If Reed Blankenship comes out and shows that he can have a great year playing at safety and not next to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, then the Philadelphia Eagles may be inclined, or they may not. Right? They may look at Cooper DeJean. They may look at Andrew Makuba. And now that things have come out that Vick Vangio, right, is really liking Mac Williams and think that Mac Williams can not only play the slot, but Mac Williams can play the outside cornerback, and he might find a role with this team. And you understand when Vick Vangio speaks about you, he likes you. Right? If he's willing to go that far to sing your praises that way, you've made an impression on him, right? And it's all about getting the best players on the football field. Again, I am for the team, not any one individual player, right? So Reed Blankenship, I think you're up for a battle this year. I think you are the incumbent starter, but I think it is your position to lose, right? You got some young guns. You got Sidney Brown that's hungry, right? You got Andrew Makuba that's hungry, right? And what's happened now is that they've now placed Cooper DeJean back there to compete at one safety spot, right? So, again, they want the best athletes out there. They want the best guys that's able to cover out there. Like, imagine if we can have Andrew Makuba and Cooper DeJean at safety, and we can have Kelee Ringo or Mac Williams and Kelee Ringo, or we can have Kelee, then Mac in the slot, and then we have Quinyon on the other side. We have all cornerbacks that can cover. They're all cornerbacks that have good ball skills and good ability. Besides Kelee. Kelee Ringo has not been struggling in camp. That's not the quite right thing to say, right? What's really going on with Keely Ringo is he's been good in coverage. He's just not making the plays on the ball that you want to see, right? And I think with more time, with more reps, or working with Coach Parker, that those type of things can be corrected, right? Because he's not, it's going to still make the quarterback have to throw a perfect pass. And everyone's not going to be one of the Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks. And there's going to be live bullets, right? Linemen's coming, a lot of different things, pressure happening, right? So tight coverage, I'll take tight coverage over blown coverage, right? I'll take a tight coverage and you just not making a play to tip the ball away versus you not even being there to make a play on the football, right? So that's what we're seeing coming out of training camp. A surprising development has been Vick Vangio has been singing the praises of Mac Williams. And I like Mac Williams coming out of Central Florida, man. I mean, the guy's been small. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and I think that bodes well for a lot of guys on this Philadelphia Eagles team, that they've found a way to get on this team that have some type of chip on their shoulder for some reason, whether they've been slighted, whether they've been looked over, whether they've been told that they was too small, whether they've been told that they couldn't do it. The Eagles have a bunch of overachievers on their team. Nobody's underachieving. Everybody is overachieving. All right, nobody on the Philadelphia Eagles are satisfied right now. None of them. Not the new class that's coming in, not the old class that's coming back. None of them. Right? The Philadelphia Eagles are looking to repeat, man. That is pretty much the breakdown of day 2 of what's going on, the biggest storylines, what's happening. We know what's going on with the offense. We'll dive into that a little bit more to try to figure out what's going on with Coach Kevin Patullo. Why is Jalen Hurts so confident? Why is Jordan Mailata? Why is Landon Dickerson? Right? Everyone I'm hearing that's talking about Coach Patullo is singing his praises, and of course he's been here the entire time. Right? He's been here the whole entire time with Nick. So we'll dive into that, and there's still some haters out there still talking about my quarterback, right? And I know we said we wasn't going to address it, but you know we still going to. Hey, this your boy TK the Official, man. Training camp day 2 is in the books. We'll get back to you with some other videos, and we'll definitely be back with a recap of what's been happening in training camp come day 3. This your boy TK the Official. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you everybody who's been rocking with me, who's been watching the videos, and everyone who's subscribed thus far. Again, make sure you share the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know how you feeling. Let me know what you thinking about the defense, right? Talk to me, and I'll talk back. It's your boy TK the Official. It's TK Sports Talk. Go Birds. I'm out.